this morning, I took a selfie, and I was just meditating on all of the enemies to my success. And so I kept looking in the mirror, and I did not see an enemy except the enemy in me. And I said to myself, self, if you get yourself straight, everything else will take care of itself. And I just laughed about that, and of course I tweeted it to several people, and they were like, yes, I knew it was something. And I said, yes, I did too, but I was looking everywhere else. And so this day is the first day where you will understand what the 5 rules of leadership are. You'll understand that these rules pertain to every career field, that they pertain to every avenue of life that you can think of. And I'm going to give them to you right quick, fast, and in a hurry, in case I don't get to do it later on in the presentation. I'm going to give you these 5 rules, and they're going to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. Number 1 is you got to lead yourself. That's number 1. Number 2 is you got to add value to others. Number 3, you got to study your craft each and every day. You got to be a learner. Number 4 is you have got to practice it. And number 5 is you got to grow. You've got to grow. Whenever you feel like you're in a place where you are stuck and you're walking around your office saying, God, I've tried everything and nothing is working, and I keep calling this and I keep doing that, but I just can't get anyone to take me seriously, or I can't get anyone to buy, I can't get anyone to list. You may be reaching what we call in this business your lid, which is your ability to lead. In other words, you've reached a plateau because you've not followed the 5 rules. I've been a pastor now over 20-some years, and I notice I'm preaching the same sermons. And they're not doing anything for my spirit. And of course, my critiquer on Monday morning is not Sunday. I want to feel good with all the good message, Reverend. You know, I want to hear all that all day Sunday so I can eat well that afternoon. But on Monday morning at the breakfast table, she sits down and says, now you know, I don't have a clue what you were talking about. Or you know, you should have investigated this aspect of the text, or whatever she got on her heart, you know. But a lot of times we get so professional until we get stuck because we're the best of the best at what we do, and we start skipping things that got us where we were supposed to be. That's when the decline starts. That's when it's no longer fun. That's when the thrill is gone. And now you don't smile when you go to your office. You sit down and you just pick up the phone and start calling or doing whatever. Drinking coffee or just waiting on somebody to come through the door. You're not as excited, you're not as passionate as you could be if you remember those 5 rules, okay? We're going to talk about those, so hopefully you got them right then. If not, they're coming back around your doorstep. So how to intentionally plan for your success. And the first thing I'm asking is, what is your definition of success? What is success to you? Because the way you define this success is the way you're going to approach it. So what is success to you? There's a list of things that we discovered that whenever someone thinks, whatever field they're in, that it's impossible for them as an individual to be successful, they end up criticizing everybody who is success. We call them haters. You know, when someone is criticizing my preaching, I tell them, you must have missed your calling because you know more about preaching than I do. And I've been in this business for 25 years. You know, and they're just looking at me like, no, I wasn't called to preach. I said, well, how are you such an expert? You might want to go back and reconsider your calling and see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. People criticize success because they think that it's not within their grasp. You might meet a few people like that. They always come up with excuses. And then another thing we say that success is abstract. It's a mystical term, and so we meditate. We do the prayer. We do all these devotional things trying to, I'm going to be successful. Today, I'm going to sell a property. You know, we think success is mystical. And so we practice the mystical arts. And we just wait. Even when we practice the law of attraction, we just wait on it to be attracted. Come here, baby. Come on, I'm ready for you. You know? And we think that's going to work. But you'll find out there's a secret behind the secret to the law of attraction. Okay? And so people think it's mystical and just certain people can be successful. Okay? And that's true. But you're one of them. Okay? Guaranteed. And then some people think it's luck. Success is just luck. It's the luck of the draw. You know, it's just not my day. It's not my season. You've heard that, right? It's my season to be blessed. It's my season. How about if you make every day your season? How about if you stop waiting on a season and do it anyway? Success ahead. And then some people think that it's an opportunity, so they wait for the opportunity. Now, I like to say that preparation comes before the opportunity. But some people want to wait till they get the opportunity and then scramble to be ready for it. They bomb out because fear of failure takes hold because they were not prepared for the opportunity. But there are some people right now that are waiting on an opportunity to be successful rather than being successful. So you can't allow yourself to do that. Now, if you notice, I'm talking about you, and I'm talking about me. I'm talking about the personal side of leadership, the personal side of success, what it's going to take for you, once you are successful, to maintain that position. Because you can reach a certain place that we studied in the 70s called the Peter Principle. You can reach your level of incompetence, and wow, your life will take a dive. Because when you reach a plateau and you're no longer able to function in that plateau, everybody who put you up there is going to be pulling you down, and you're going to go right there with them. So you have to know that. And then, of course, connections. People believe that their connections will make them successful. So they go to every conference of every kind, and they're handing out business cards, and you know, and they're getting business cards, and they're attending all these association meetings and all of these networking meetings. They're doing all that. They know everybody, but they still broke. They know everyone, but they haven't sold a property yet. But they know people that do, because they go to the Monday morning breakfast meeting religiously every week. Because they think that their connections are going to make them successful. So if you see where I'm going, all of these things play a role in your success, but none of them individually make you a success. Events. People think if they have an event, they're going to be a success. If you build it, they will come. Field of dreams. But your apartment building could remain empty for a long time. Then you're bankrupt. Because there were some other things that needed to be done before you built the building, right? And then productivity. If I just work hard. If I just work hard, I'm going to be successful. And there's a lot of aimlessness involved in busyness. So it's not the fact that you just work hard. What are you working hard doing? Y'all looking at me like, what? Leverage. People like to power up. That's when you got the boss in your pocket. You know, anytime you get ready to do something, you say, well, I talked it over with Rick, and, you know, Rick's the prayers, and Rick says this is doable. And you just leverage your power with someone. But that does not make you a success. Rick may be successful, but that's not going to be the cause of you being a success. You just name drop. And then recognitions. People believe that they get an award, a pat on the back, that they are a success. That's not necessarily the case. Each of these items on this list, when it comes to success, deals with material gain. And that is not success. That's just fruit of your success. But that is not success. That's not what success is all about. Okay? So, y'all thinking about it. If you got a question, raise your hand. Please let me know. Let me define success in 3 phases. First of all, success, let me know if I'm walking out of range here. First of all, success is knowing your purpose. Knowing your purpose. Of course, in your case, knowing your niche. Knowing your niche. Where is your passion? Where is your passion in the real estate business? Because you cannot be expert at everything. But what is the one thing people call you about? Because you know that more than you do anything else. You live and breathe that. You're passionate about that. You know you were put here on this earth to be who you are in that capacity. And they call you 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not grumpy, you're not edgy, because they are talking about what you love to talk about. Who you talking to? State Farm? At 3 o'clock in the morning? That kind of thing be going on, you see? So therefore, knowing your purpose. Why are you in the business you're in, and what is it that drove you to the business initially, before you made all the connections and, met everybody and all that, and someone persuaded you to go another way? What is the thing that drove you into the business initially that you had passion for? I'm getting, what do they call it, dry mouth? What is it? Well, I need another glass. That's not going to get it. Please, there's a cup up there. I saw the ad about, the glassware in hotels, so cup is fine. cup is fine. Thank you very, very kindly, Kimberly. I'm trying to remember names now. Excuse me. So know your purpose. And along with that goes the why. How about that? Why do you do what you do? And then success is sowing, which simply says you add value to other people. You know that you are who you are in this world to help somebody else. In the leadership circles, we say that if you help someone achieve their dreams, they'll help you achieve your dreams. It's called a commission in your line of work. But you got to first help that person get the property that they're trying to get, or sell the property that they're trying to sell. So you're in the business of helping somebody achieve their dreams. So add value to them. Be willing to invest in them, you see. And then the third component of success is personal growth. Personal growth. Because whether you know it or not, the goals that you set are not set just for you to achieve those goals. It is for you to be a better person. If you ever set a goal, and that goal is loftier than you could ever imagine achieving, and it includes other people, team work, then you'll discover that you're changing as you're pursuing your dream. You're changing as you're pursuing the goal. You're becoming a better person, because the pursuit of goals will change you. We'll talk about that in a minute. But trust me when I tell you, it will change you. So, success. Success is 13% what you know and 87% of the people you deal with. So if you're not a good people person, you got some work to do. Because if I don't like you, I'm not going to buy anything you got to sell. think I heard someone teaching that earlier. I mean, people have got to like you to deal with you. And you've got to practice being friendly and generous and kind. It didn't cost that much, but, you know, that's what you're going to have to do. 87% of knowing people, relationships. How many of you had those classes in sociology, psychology, and all that stuff, right? And your undergrad, more than likely, if you went to college. In life, if you come from a big family, I come from a family of 13, so I had to build relationships to stay alive. Since I was on the shorter end, my dad was 6'5", my mom was 4'11", so the girls were the tall ones and the guys were the short ones. And, you know, when it's dinner time and there's 13 to get around the pot, you need some alliances. You need somebody to put a biscuit aside for you in case you don't get there in time, right? So you're building relationships. Large families teach you to build relationships. You know, so whatever you're doing in life, get to know what makes people tick. I think one time, it's been so long ago, I think it was in the 1980s, when I did take a real estate course, and the people kept saying, you got to understand why the seller is selling. Do you have a motivated seller? And I'm like, motivated? The thing is up for sale. But they said, no, you got to get behind the scenes if you're an agent and discover why they're selling so that you'll know how to deal with that person. And I was like, okay. You know, but it was all about relationships. So your listing is not a listing on paper. Your listing is a human being. That's the listing. It's the person. So you got to spend time with them. You got to get to know them. Y'all know that stuff, right? So relationships. Build relationships. Remember people's names, which I am struggling with because I met so many people in my 20-year military career, and now as a pastor, I meet people all the time, and they all have the same name. You know, and so it's hard to differentiate. So I try to come up with some pneumatic that I can remember and that it'll stick, or mnemonic, I should say, right? That's a teacher over there, retired after 31 years. So if I feel like I've said something, I have to pause and make sure, because she's over there, you know, grimacing behind my back, like you misspoke or something, you know. But anyway, we've been doing this for a while. So. But that's what success is, people. Helping people reach their dreams, their goals, and in turn, you get to live the life you dream about, okay? Now, there are some assumptions about personal growth that I think we need to talk about before we get into the nuts and bolts of how to intentionally plan your success. Because I don't want you to fall into any of these traps. And the first one I have on this graphic, and is in your handout, is assumption. Don't make the mistake of assuming because you've been in the real estate business a long time that you're growing. Don't make the assumption that because you're no longer 12, you may be 30, that you know a lot of stuff. In other words, people assume if I just keep living, things are going to get better. That is not how life works. Life does not care how old you become. So don't assume that because you know you've been in the real estate market all these years that you are growing. You may be like I was, pulling out that stuff from the 19th century, trying to use it in the 21st century, and it's just not clicking for you. I heard the lady that spoke this morning, she was talking about millennials in this room this afternoon and how to deal with millennials. You know, and I was like, wow, well, I've studied that, and I knew she was right on point. But you cannot approach the population you have today in the millennial age like you would someone that's, you know, in my generation, and I'm sweet 60, you know, I'm sweet 60 and growing. So, you know, but you can't assume that automatically you're going to know how to do these things. Secondly, of course, is knowledge. Don't assume that you know how to grow. Don't assume that you can do it by yourself. You need some instruction in how to develop your leadership skills. And you remember I said leading yourself first. Because if you lead yourself first, others will follow you. You don't have to look for anybody. They'll come where you are because they'll see your progression, and like attracts like. Okay? I found out also that success has nothing to do with color. Success has to do with preparation for the opportunity when it arrives. Money is still green, right? And I don't see any green people in here. All right? So you cannot use any excuses about your growth and your development based on your environment and where you came from and all that kind of stuff. No. Don't fall into that trap. You know what it takes for you to be successful. Why aren't you successful? If you already know what it takes for you to be a millionaire, a billionaire, a multi-millionaire, why aren't you there yet? You already know everything. And I'm talking, when I say you, I'm not talking about you in this room, but I'm talking about people will assume that they already know, and they will not attend training. Never stop learning. That is an adage that you ought to live by. I have a PhD, 2 master's degrees, a bachelor's degree, an associate's degree, and my wife knows I'm getting ready to enroll in a continuing education program. Yeah, because I don't intend to let the brain freeze. You know, and they tell you that your college degree after 5 years is no longer valid because the whole world has changed in 5 years. And with the internet, your degree certainly is going to be worthless. Yeah, the millennials will be on the internet knowing more than you do now. Inspiration. People say, I don't feel like it. Somebody got to pump them up, motivate them. Don't you think that everything you do in order to be successful is going to be a cakewalk? There are some depressing days. There are some times that you're going to have to walk through when you don't feel like walking through it. The definition of genius is a firm application of the seat of the pants to a chair. Because you don't know you're a genius until you learn it. You don't know what you know until you encounter knowledge. Then you'll say, I knew that. Of course, you just got exposed to it. Before that, you didn't really know it. You might have thought about it, but you didn't really know it. I mean, I've read commentaries where I've had the same thought. I'm like, this guy's smart because I feel the same way. But if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't have had company. And some of your ideas to be successful, you don't know anybody right now. You think you got them. You're the only one that's got it. Man, you're holding on to it. Trust me, Google it. Google it. There's nothing new under the sun. So you got to be your own motivator. And you got to be able to be a success, to plan your success and work towards your success when you don't feel like doing it. If you wait until it's convenient, then you're not going to be much of a success. That's biblical and that's true. Timing. Now this is a big one for some people, this gap, where they say, well, it's not the right time. I got to wait till I get married, wait till I raise my children, wait till my student loans are paid, and you know and I know that's never going to happen. Wait, wait until you're debt-free, wait until you've got this long list of reasons to wait. When I was at Walden University, we had to write a 20-year vision for our lives, and part of my vision was to take my wife on a cruise in 2013. Honey, have we been on a cruise yet?
No.
See? See what I mean? Life happens. But guess what? It's still in the back of my mind. And I have a date on the calendar that she doesn't know about yet because I'm going to surprise her. But the thing is you have to know that now is the right time for you to be a success. Right now, no matter what limitations you may think you have, now is the time to do whatever it is you want to do. Especially if you got bad credit, and I know none of you do. Because if you already got bad credit, you got nothing to lose. So why not do it? Why not do creative financing and go do what you need to do? But you know, I'm not in real estate. I just bought a few pieces of property that way. M, mistakes. People are afraid to make mistakes. And so they won't move forward because they don't want to appear to be a failure. I would do it, but if I make a mistake, people are going to laugh at me. I'm going to be humiliated and all that, but you're going to still be without what it is you said you wanted. Ooh, I like that. Heaven talking. So, you listen, you don't worry about mistakes. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. And then perfection. Now this is very, very key, and I want you to get this. I was a, network marketing, here I go, this tied tongue thing. Network marketing, I was an Excel agent, I was an Organo Gold coffee salesman, Limu, Tuscan drink, health food salesman. I was a part-time mobile home investor and all these things. And each one of these things that I was getting into, I did the Rich Dad, Poor Dad conferences. I mean, I'm looking for, something where I'm going to just, I'm going to get rich and it's going to be overnight and things are going to be great. And you know what happened after about a week or two? All them cassette tapes and stuff that I bought are somewhere in somebody's garbage can right about now. Because I was looking for the perfect system that would make me a success. The best way to do it. And because I didn't think that I had the best way to do it, I didn't do anything. If you are engaged in an enterprise that has a proven system of success, why are you traveling from one system to another trying to find the best system? Can I tell you what the best system is? You. You are the best system. So it doesn't matter what system you work that is outside of you, as long as you know it's in you. This system will work. You just have to decide. And a lot of people would be further on in life if they just made a choice. I'll tell you how serious that gets with me. I have 7, 8 children and one coming along the way. Not from her. This is a church child, the government all of a sudden decided we were fit parents, and so I was a CASA, court-appointed special agent, and this young lady in her teens needed parents, and so the government decided I would become her guardian. We would become her guardian, and that means pay her way through high school, college, and all this other stuff, because once they give them to you, they never leave. And they come to all the family reunions. And so now they're your child, okay? So there is another one that's in trouble that I just got a feeling. But I like it like that. Because what that means is I can put a demand on God, because I'm a man of faith, to do what? Provide my needs to make sure that child has what that child is taken care of, needs to be taken care of. So I'm never worried about not having enough. Because as long as God piles it on, then I know he's got the provision. And it has never failed. Every one of my children that wanted to go to college did, and one that wanted to go into service went, and God's been good like that. So, but don't keep looking for the best way to do what you do. Pick a method and go for it. Because you're the best method. Then comparison. Hey, Doc, how many properties did you sell this month? What? Man. Oh, God, I thought I was doing something. I sold 10. He sold 15. I need to go back. Don't compare yourself to other people. You do you. Be satisfied with your own success. And at the end of the day, if you've done everything that I'm going to go over in a few minutes, guess what? You can pat yourself on the back and say, now, this was a good day. I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to repeat these same steps, and it's going to be a good day tomorrow. But if you start comparing yourself, you're thinking you're going slower than others, that, you must be missing some secret sauce because I know I can do it if they can do it. You can, but you've got to get there. You don't know their story. So don't judge yourself based on somebody else's story when you don't know their story. You don't know what struggles they had to get or do. And then expectation. Success is not easy. I said that earlier. And so some people will say, I didn't know it was going to be this hard when I got into it. I thought it was going to be easy. Some people get into flipping homes and they last about 6 months. Because they didn't think it was going to be that difficult. But success is difficult. Because success is all about the you. It's about you being changed. And as long as it takes for you to change, that's how long it's going to take for your success to arrive. I'm not going to add that tidbit. Thank you. I heard you, but I'm going to let that be. Now, which side of this graphic are you on? Because now we're ready to talk about being intentional. You know, which side of this graphic are you on? Are you depending on accidental growth? Or are you being intentional with your growth? In one of our conferences, Ed DeCosta got up and says, well, you know, it's an early bird that gets the worm. Everybody claps, you know, because those were the people who get up at 4 in the morning. I'm a late sleeper. But I get to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, so I don't get up before 10. I don't know anything about a 9 to 5. I've never had one. When I was in the Army, it was whenever they wanted us and came and got us. Whenever they said go home, we went home. And now being a pastor is whenever that phone rings, I'm on call. You know, so I don't know anything about the clock, as some people know about the clock. But he said it's the early bird that gets the worm. And everybody clapped, and then when they finished clapping, he said, but I want you to remember one thing. There's still some other worms in the ground. So if you're not an early riser, if you're one of those people like me who are an insomniac and do your best work at 2 in the morning, guess what? There's some worms for us as well. You know, all the worms are never taken out of the ground. All the opportunities are never vanquished from you being able to grab hold of them. It doesn't matter if 3 people are doing the same thing you're doing, you'll get your share if you remember that there is abundance in the land. That'll create a whole lot of good feeling on the inside. And then some people quit too early and too often. Do I have time to share one story? I was in the Army. This was Christmas somewhere between 86 and 87. And my second lieutenant. Now, if you've ever been in the Army, you know that NCOs do the work. Officers tell you what to do. So I was a non-commissioned officer. I was a worker. So I had this second lieutenant that I was training to be an officer. You go in the office, I'll let you know when we need you. Well, this lieutenant came in one morning all bright and chipper, and I'm looking at this guy like, hey, calm down, we got a long day. He walks in, he says, Sergeant Griffin. I said, yes. He said, give me $1,000. Now, mind you, I had just saved $1,000 in the Christmas thing for my kids, you know. You put money in every month, you're saving up for Christmas. And it was about time for me to get my money. So, and he knew that. And so he says, give me $1,000. I said, for what? He says, I just got a job with Merrill Lynch, and they're investing in this toy. It's going to be sold at Christmas. And if you give me $1,000, I guarantee you, you'll be a millionaire after Christmas. Now, I come from a family of 13. Money is not easy to come by. This is the mindset now. I'm saying something through this story. So my mindset was, I worked 11 months to get this $1,000, son. I'm not finna give it to you to go give it to somebody that's going to lose my money talking about a toy for Christmas. I had no concept of that. So, of course, I did not give him my $1,000 to invest. And lo and behold, after Christmas, he comes in the office in civilian clothes. I'm looking at him like, yo, number one, you're late. Number two, what are you doing in civilian clothes? He says, well, I just come from the where they resign their commission place in personnel. I said, wait a minute, what do you mean? He said, well, you know, I told you to give me $1,000 and I would make you a millionaire. You wouldn't do it. Well, I invested my money, and I've made over $1 million, and I'm taking off this army suit. What did he invest in? Teddy Ruxpin.
I knew it.
Now here I am, because of my upbringing, because of my culture, because of me believing that there's only one worm, I did not take a risk that, had I pursued it, would have been the difference between poverty and prosperity. And that's where you are in success, and that's where you are in your financial goals and in your relationship goals. You're just one opportunity away, but you got to have the right thinking.
That sounded too good to be true.
Oh, yes, it's very.
I would have been like, yeah, you're crazy. I would have done the same thing you did.
Yeah, I acted unbecoming of a, what's that thing they said, conduct unbecoming of a non-commissioned officer. I've been retired since '93. I'm about to lose all that lingo, but yeah, there was conduct unbecoming, but he was in civilian clothes, so, you know, it was all good. He was leaving, he could care less. But it's very true. I did not invest in Teddy Ruxpin, but I had the opportunity because of my mindset that you got to work hard to be successful. By God, if you don't work for it, you can't have it. Well, I already worked hard in the military. That's what I was doing, was working hard. This was Grace over here saying, hey, why don't you come on this side and see how it is on this side? I guarantee you I don't let those opportunities slip now. Even if I don't get what I think I deserve, at least I'm going to take the risk, okay? Okay, good, we're good. Intentional growth says relies on hard work, perseveres long and hard, fights for good habits. In other words, success is hard work, but it is the hard work that produces the breaks. People who do not work hard do not get breaks. And if they do, it does not profit them. So don't spend all your money at the lottery, because even if you win it, you over here, got all these bad habits, you're not going to keep it. Okay? I guarantee. That's my favorite guy. So then, how are we to be intentional? I'm going to give it in one sentence, and it's on your handout. Your success is determined by your daily agenda. And I want to unpack that for a minute. Your success is determined by your daily agenda. Okay? In other words, you got to make decisions in the daily dozen. That's what I call these areas. I call them the daily dozen. Every day, you've got to make decisions in each one of these areas in order to be successful. Every day. Thank you for giving.
Sure.
Every day. You've got to make decisions concerning your finances. It is hard in today's world to invest. It's hard not to just live it up now. Because we got wars, we've got disasters, natural disasters. We've got all these things that tell us that in a minute we could be zapped out of here. And for some people, that means, why am I going to invest for the long term when I may not be here tomorrow? But what if you are? Why not think on the other side? What if you are? I was in the military 20 years. Nobody was fighting. I got ready to retire. Here comes 2 wars. There's a shield. There's a storm. I ran. I ride. I left. You know, nobody was fighting for 20 years. You had your chance. I'm sorry. You know, if you wanted me to fight, you should have done it in a 20-year period. But I asked God for 20 years in the military, 20 years as a pastor, and about 4 years over, and then 20 years to teach leadership development. So what did I do to prepare? I made decisions in each one of these areas. So let's look at them for a moment. The first is finances, as I said. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money in those areas that are near and dear to your heart and not near and dear to other folks' hearts. I tell my family there's certain money that I have that's not my money. Well, we know you got that check because we saw you on Facebook and you were speaking at the United Real Estate Corporation annual convention, so we need some help. Sorry, that's not my money. That money is already programmed to go in an investment, so I can't give it to you. Well, there you go again. Yes, because I got to get it where I need to get it in order to give it like you want me to give it. You see what I mean? So, and it's the same thing. When you do what you're doing, I did something totally outrageous to people. I first bought a Samsung Galaxy 6 Edge. Love it. It's over there on the desk. It's right here. So then my wife goes out, she's going to top me. She's going to buy the iPhone 6. And I sat there one day, I said, it's not going to happen. So I went out and bought the iPhone 6 Plus. Now, I don't need 2 smartphones, but it's not hurting me to have to, because I wanted it. And we said to each other a couple of years ago, baby, don't buy me anything else. I really don't need anything. I don't want anything. Let's just travel and see the world, and I'll go with you when you're speaking or whatever. And I'm like, I'm 60. If you'd have seen me at 45, you would have never imagined that I'd be able to do what I'm doing now. But I married a person that's smart. Every time I look at him, my credit score go up. She knows things in that arena that I just don't have time to investigate. But I trust her. I chose her, so, I let her have her sway, and I get to have an allowance, and I can buy whatever I want to buy. Attitude. Last night we got here, and my room reservation was a little, iffy. And so I just stood there, and the lady said, well, give me your paperwork, let me go and talk to my manager. I frantically, text Kimberly, and then I called Kimberly, and then I said to myself, Seth, you need to go find Kimberly. So I found Kimberly, and Kimberly said, have a glass of wine, everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, my wife's downstairs. Oh yeah, but let me find Jane. Jane will take care of this. And of course, Jane was so gracious. And I mean, they just took that situation right out of my hands. And I was like, wow, look at this. My attitude could have gotten messed up. I could have been down there saying, do you know who I am? I'm Reverend Dr. Earl J. Griffin Sr. I've driven for 5.5 hours today to get here. But I remained calm on the outside and frantic on the inside because I wanted my wife to rest because I knew what we had to do this weekend. So, but they worked it out. It wasn't my problem. The little boy said, not your concern. Give it to the people who invited you. I said, cool. And I started having a ball from that point on. Attitude. Attitude determines your altitude, they say. And you've got to keep a good attitude despite the adversities that you may go through in life. And then your priorities. Now, when I talk about priorities, I'm talking about still managing your daily agenda. You got some big rocks. You got some must-do things that if you don't do, that will impact your financial standing, your reputation in your line of work, that will impact your family standing. You've got some big rocks that you need to move every day. So you got to make sure that you deal with your priorities first. You can deal with Facebook at lunchtime or something. You can Instagram at at break time or something. But first thing in the morning after your meditation, your devotion, you got to deal with the big rocks. And if you're like me, a big rock of mine is student loan debt from and getting all these degrees. You see? And I got this big bill from the student loan office, $2,000 for on this $100,000 debt I got. And I didn't do a thing with it. All I said was, now they ought to know I'm not going to give them $2,000 at one time. I can put that in an investment. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm going to die one day, and I'll probably still owe the government. But my children are going to be taken care of. So anyway, I said I'm going to pay on it. And so weeks went by, and I got this call from these Fed people, and they said, Earl, we haven't heard from you. I said, oh, yeah, I know, procrastination. They said, well, I tell you what now, you've been such a good payer all these years, and we understand that you are reallocating some of your finances, you're doing some things, you have your son in college. I mean, they gave me all the reasons why I should pay. You know, that's what happens when you're a good debt payer. People will help you when you need help. They won't be bashing you and things. So what ended up was they said, well, we'll wait till you file taxes. We'll just put your loan in deferment. You can just pay the interest. Then once you do your taxes, send them to us, and we'll do income-based plan with you and get it where it needs to be in order for you to be able to make it without any sweat. Now, don't you love those kind of government folk? You see, I love those kind of government folk because every month it's automatic. It's going to come out of my account anyway. I just want to have a little say about how much is going to come out. You see? So, no harm, no foul. Now, if I happen to become a multi-millionaire, I might write them a check because they'll probably ask for it, you know? I mean, I probably won't have to say so in that. But then you got to make the right decisions in your faith. Now, faith, I'm a preacher. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ unapologetically. Okay? You may or may not. But whatever your spiritual walk is, whatever you define God as, or as the divine, or if you are Buddhist and you believe in self-actualization, that's all good with me. But the thing is, whatever you choose, be faithful to it. You're going to need that inner strength that comes from some form of spiritual rest. Okay? So make a decision on how you're going to manifest your all right, I like that. Then your relationships. Make a commitment to be engaged in the relationships that you have created. Relationships with other people. There's something on mine. Ed DeCosta has a daily agenda that has something on it called contacts. And these are the people that you going to contact each day and add value to them. If it's nothing more than just picking up the phone and saying, hello, just want to encourage you today. I don't have time to talk long, but, you know, I'm thinking about you. Just something small. No big deal. You may send them a text. Have a blessed day. You know, thinking about you. Whatever. Just maintain your relationships. And then your health. I haven't walked quite as much as my wife would want me to, but anyway, I did it for 20 years. I'm still living on that health I got then. I do walk occasionally. But you have to be serious about your health. Dental health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health. All of that is included in the decision you want to make about your health. And then generosity. Who are you going to bless? You see? Of course, I live by the 10-10-80 rule. 10 times, 10% investments, 80% to live on and to help other people and do whatever I need to do. But I have to pay me first. I didn't say that right. If I was in church, I'd say I have to give my tithes first. But since I get the check first, before I get to church, my 10% is already going to the investment, the savings. Then when I get to church, because I like to write my money out, I don't like to just have it automatic. You know, I want to experience giving, you know, to kingdom work. And I don't like all this automation when it comes to being generous. I like to see people's faces when I help them. I like to see people's faces when I'm adding value to them, and I see that I've been a blessing to them. That just does something for me. And so I do it like that. And then your family. That's a relationship, but family, of course, is most important. Now, when we got married, the preacher said, don't let anything come between you. Now, that's problematic for some people because, you know, people in church like to pray in a circle, and there's always somebody trying to get between us, male, female, whatever. And we have to politely say, excuse me, can you get to that side of us or that side? Because you can't get between us. Because the pastor that married us said, don't let anything get between you. Now, we took that literally in the sense of other people, not everything. But, you know, when we stand to pray, we stand holding each other's hand. And then we'll give somebody the other hand. It works for us, okay? We like to do the pinky finger when we pray. You know, and when I release her pinky finger, she knows I'm finna say amen. She knows the cue when I'm winding down or when I'm ready to move on to something else. But that's a family thing that we have to stay connected, the pinky finger. And then your values. Have integrity. Be genuine. Somebody said keep it 100. But I want to keep it 100 for one day. Because if you're paying attention to how you're growing, you're not going to be the same tomorrow. So people can't expect you to be the same tomorrow that you were today. Because every day, in every way, if you are making the right decisions in your growth and your commitment, your life's going to get better and better, which means you're getting better and better. And whatever you do, change your thinking whenever your thinking proves to be unprofitable. It does not make sense to hold on to some virtue that's not working. Okay? I mean, you see it's not working. Why are you going to die for it? Well, I just believe. Well, look, man, it's breaking you. Y'all looking at me like he's crazy. Yes, I am. But there are some cultural norms that just do not work anymore. We're in a new day. So we need to break up the fallow ground, break up that stinking thinking, and begin to embrace new paradigms so that we can keep soaring. You do want to soar, right? You don't want to just have people walk out your office because you are approaching them with a paradigm from a time long past. Okay? Don't hold on to paradigms, and I don't know how I did that, but don't hold on to paradigms that no longer work. Thinking and commitment. Make a decision every day about what you're going to commit your time to. What are you going to commit to doing? What are you going to commit to accomplishing each day? So that at the end of the day, when you look over your to-do list, you can say, I got it, or I'm parting the way, or I did all I could do that day. And when you do that, you'll find that if you address each one of these areas every day of your life, you will be a success. What's on your agenda? That's why you have a program booklet. And I looked through mine and I said, okay, that's interesting. I think I want to attend this. Yep, I'm going to attend that. Yep, I'm going to attend this. You know, I was planning. Because I didn't want to just wander around the hallways and miss everything. So I had to make a decision about what I was going to attend, right? You have to do the same thing. What do you need right now to grow? You got another day tomorrow. Try it. I guarantee it'll be a blessing to you. We over-exaggerate yesterday. Why? Because it's over. It's over. We overestimate tomorrow. Why? Because we may not get there. Every time I try to get to tomorrow, I find out it's today. What you going to do tomorrow? I don't know. Every time I get to it, it's today. Isn't that something? And we fret over that. I don't have enough money to meet my payroll, and it's 2 weeks before payday. Wow. But what about today? Do what you can today to affect your payroll, but don't let what you cannot do in 2 weeks steal your joy, move you off your proper attitude and standing because you worry about all that stuff and then you don't see 2 weeks from now because you have a stroke from worry. And worry causes strokes, trust me, heart attacks and a few other things. But we underestimate the value of today. If you will be consistent, I'm winding down now. I heard me click then. Three areas that you have to do to lead yourself. First of all, you have to be self-aware. You got to know you better than anybody else knows you. Know thyself first. And then after you know yourself, to your own self be true. But you got to know yourself first. You can't know yourself without what? Growing and learning and experiencing a whole lot of things. You got to be self-aware as it pertains to knowing what you don't know about the business that you're in, so you won't be trying to fake it. You get somebody to help you out. Nothing wrong with teamwork. So you got to know what you don't know and call somebody who does. Otherwise, you end up making mistakes that you could have avoided. If you just said, let me call Jim. Jim knows about this. He was a high achiever in our conference last year. Or you sitting there trying to reinvent the wheel, and Jim take 5 minutes to tell you what to do. Isn't that amazing? We underestimate today. Self-aware. Be self-aware. And then the second thing you got to be, if you're going to be intentional about success, is you got to be disciplined. You've got to be able to get the job done when your emotions are saying throw in the towel. When your statistics on the wall says you're not good at this, you got to discipline yourself. You got to read a poem or two, you know. There's a poem that says, I will persist until I succeed. Y'all remember that from high school? There's another poem that says, somebody said it couldn't be done, but I wouldn't say so till I tried. So with a bit of a grin, I chuckled and I began. Because somebody else saying it couldn't be done doesn't mean that you can't do it. What are you saying to you? So you got to be disciplined. And then finally, you've got to be consistent. Now, I'm done with this. When I talk about being consistent, I'm really talking about every day showing up. Consistency is the key to your breakthrough. Consistency is the key to your breakthrough. I got 5:45. Now, what should I say? Well, my time is up. I thank you for yours. But let me say this. You can find me. I'm easy to get to. It's in your handout. I hope you'll allow me to come and do some training where you are, but I also hope that you'll be trained. I hope that you'll understand that now is the time for you to attain your greatness. Now is the time for you to put on the shelf every excuse, every reason for not being that great, successful person that you know you are. And the only reason you're not there is simply because you don't believe it yet. But once you believe that you can overcome any obstacle, that you can adapt, as Clint Eastwood would say, improvise or overcome, and when you start really believing that you can do that, guess what? You're going to start soaring like eagles. You're going to start thinking of creative ways, innovative ways to get the job done. Why? Because the only difference between you and somebody else is because you have decided to be different. You have decided that you're going to get it done. You have decided that you're not going to let any circumstance keep you from your dream. And if you're dreaming like that, not only will you dream of where you want to be, but you'll start dreaming of methods and strategies and innovations and ideas and insights that will just totally knock every opposition off the wall. I've never had a dream that I did not dream my way through some spots that were rough. But I got through them because I knew why I was doing it. I wasn't just doing it so I could have, but I was doing it so others could have. I was doing it so that I could be a distribution center. That's what you are. You're a distribution center for real estate, for blessings. Yes, you're a distribution center. See, they come get you. You're a distribution center. You are a distribution center. See yourself as a distribution center where what flows through you are blessings. What flows through your life are blessings to people. Because you have decided you can do it. You've decided you can make it. You've decided that, listen, I'm telling you, when you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired of having obstacles push you back from your goals, When you just get tired of having folks saying, well, if I were you, I'd just settle for this. When you get so, not arrogant, but confident, that you just walk around saying, I know I'm going to do this. Now I need an idea. And you go looking for ideas, and you find ideas. You go looking for teammates to help you, because nothing great is ever achieved by yourself. And when you know that there's enough for everybody, then you don't mind sharing. And you save yourself time to reach your goal when you create your own little teams, people who have strengths in areas that you don't have strengths in, people who have a fortitude that you aspire to. You need a team, and you, as John would say, you can't be the smartest man in the room, or you're in the wrong room. You've got to have somebody around the table that's smarter than you. I thank you for your time. My wife is showing me some business cards, but you know I'm not looking at this. Anyone would like a business card, they're here for you. You're welcome to take. I'm done. Thank you. It's time for Happy with the Hour. And I'll be doing this again tomorrow at 2:30. So I look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, thank you.
No, I don't have one on me. If you come tomorrow, we'll have some more. Will you be, well, if you're hopefully here, or if you'll use his email, he'll email it to you.
On the video? No? No? I don't think so. No, you were the one jumping off the
Yeah, if you'll get his email. Did you get his email? He'll even, get on his card. Yes, if you get his email, he'll email it to you. Use his email if you want another handout. Well, the handout. Good. Okay.
It's all yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm at the happy hour somewhere. I got to
Yep,
find the
head
place.
for the expo center. They're set up and ready for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. You said you giving it to me.
And I'm gonna give your wife a tip too.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
hey.
Just talk to Peter and Dan, because they just found me on the internet.
Swivel. Another.
And as he's
So
holding
just
her
put on your evaluation and get her back. They'll be more than happy to come back. Thank you.
check it out.
It's an app.
Oh, they must be tomorrow. They better be. If they don't, I'll have one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming.
The technology, and you set it up, and it'll follow him wherever he
then.
goes. You hang on to
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
Yeah.
We need
Did
something
you
that's
sign off
complete.
of Meerkat?
Yes, I did.
Those people get bored and leave
Thank you,
me?
you guys.
All right, thank
Oh,
you.
it was about, 113.
Wow, 113.
Yeah.
Wow,
There you go.
look at there.
No, I see. We should have handed these all out before, but that's okay.
Yeah, they got the handout, see, and they're gonna tell other people, so we'll need some more tomorrow.
Yeah, because I told them, I said, if you come tomorrow.
Yeah. Was it good?
Oh, yeah, I recorded. Oh, look.